Well, it has been a very good month, and I have found 10 albums, the 10 best metal albums of this month. We have some black metal, we also got a bit of death metal, and we got some even gothic metal. Before I start my list, pop your favorite albums down below, and you know what, let's get started with this massive list. Coming at number 10 is Temple of Dread, Hades Unleashed, which was released on July 23rd through Testimony Records. This is a very good album. It's quite brutal in tone and its death metal production is old school death metal sound, and I just really enjoy the riffrages on this. The vocals are incredibly harsh and aggressive, but there are some great songs like Necromantigon along with Nefarious Eye, which is very catchy. It's quite melodic, really enjoy the guitar tone as well. Yeah, this does remind me at times like something like out of Asphyx or even Autopsy with the doomy elements. But yeah, you must check out Temple of Dread, Hades Unleashed. I already told you about this album on Discovery. If you want to hear more about this, definitely check out Discovery. One album that I also featured in Discovery was also Wizard Throne and the album Hypercube Necrodimensions. This band is a supergroup, you could say, members of Ailstorm, Glory Hammer, and even Aether Realm. This is a blackened style album with some power metal elements. I like to call it symphonic power black metal. There's some great moments, really enjoy the guitar riffs on this along with the drumming, and vocalist is so damn good. Really enjoy the harsh aggressive vocals. The synths are really overdriven on this album, and it's a really fun LP overall. Songs like Frozen Winds of Thyroxia, Beyond the Wizard Throne, which is like 15 minutes, and Black Hole Quantum Thermodynamics is such a fun song to bang your head along. Hypercube Necrodimensions Wizard Throne is a must if you like symphonic black metal. But yeah, it is a fun black metal album nonetheless. Next up is At the Gates, The Nightmare of Being. This album took me by surprise. This was released through Century Media Records on July 2nd. Some really great moments. It's death metal, it's melodic death metal with a prog flourishing flair on this. Really enjoy how there are the saxophone throughout the song Garden of Cyrus and A Form of Time. You got some really interesting songs like Cosmic Pessimism, awesome guitar solo throughout the Paradox, which creates this really epic atmosphere. This is a pretty atmospheric album by At the Gates, and the vocals on this, Thomas Lindberg, he sounds very similar to the Asphyx vocalist Martin Van Buren, just because of that harsh sandpaper-like tone he's got. And yeah, I really do enjoy this album. This would have been my number one. Instead, I kind of got sick of it. I don't know. But I played it a lot and I just threw it aside. But it's still a really good album, don't get me wrong. But I just feel that the replayable factor isn't there for At the Gates Nightmare of Being. But overall, it's a good LP. Next up is Nightcrown Hedenfard, released through Noble Demon on July 9th. This album took me by surprise. Questy showed me this album and holy shit, I absolutely loved it. It's melodic black metal with mellow death riffs that really escalate the album into next level. There are some atmospheric vibes, even the vocals at times sound like Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth. Just really enjoy the tone of this album. It's fun, it's epic, and it's majestic. Although it's quite atmospheric in tone, it is pretty heavy and pretty fast and furious. Love the first song, Nachkrot Fadrad. Each song runs around about 5 to 6 minutes, and it's great solos, great riffing. At times it does sound like dissection, you could say, and even some Insomnium moments as well with some doomy elements. This is like a black metal version of Insomnium. Loved it. Love Nightcrown Hedenfard. It's one of my favorites of the month. Already mentioned this band, but I'll mention them again. Towards Atlantis Lights, When the Ashes Devoured the Sun. This is a really good Funeral Doom band, really good Funeral Doom album. I love the overall story of it, listened to it a lot throughout last week and the week before. Costas, who is also the lead vocalist on Pampantheus, creates some great vocal work. Love the beautiful melodies that do get stuck in your head, and it's a very great Funeral Doom album. Love the little atmospheric passages, the ambient tones. Mad Profitless, which is like 15-16 minutes long, so good, it really is. The guitar tone is so fucking great on this. Loved it. And yeah, there's no doubt I'm actually going to buy this album once I can get my hands on this. Next up is some more black metal. Misafem CLG J0218205102. This was released independently on July 4th. And yeah, this is like the 8th studio album, and this is dancey, trancey black metal. Love the electronic elements. It's more on that heavier side, other than Degeneration Era, which is a masterpiece in my opinion. This album takes a step back to a more atmospheric approach, and it's quite spacey and it's quite proggy as well, with some very different flourishing flavors on this album. Tidal Warping, A Manipulation of Numbers Part 2, Vacuum Delay, and A Generation Star Birth Part 2. So damn good, absolutely adore it. Love the guitar work on this, I love his vocals, and yeah, you play this in the taxi and it vibes, baby, it vibes. It's got a really dancing flair on this album, and absolutely adore it. Next up is Noctambulis, The Barren Form. This is a fantastic album. This is one of my favorite death metal albums of the year. This was released through Relitip Records on July 2nd. Fucking heavy. This album is so damn heavy. It's proggy, it's dissonant, and it's just batshit crazy. Very similar to the black metal version of Ad Nauseam. Fun, great passages. There is melodies, but the vocals are just so damn cavernous and in your face. Songs like Depletion, then you got Trevenance and Dissolution. It's just batshit crazy from start to finish. Although there are some atmospheric passages along the way which create a break of the heaviness. Noctambulis, The Barren Form is definitely one of my favorite albums, one of my favorite death metal albums of the year. Go check them out if you haven't already. Next up is an album that I actually got in my hands, and a lot of people aren't really a big fan of this, especially the metal community here, but holy shit, I absolutely love it. This band, The Lord of the Lost, released a brand new album called Judas, and I got this album. I played this album countless times throughout this month. Although technically and musically it's not as great as the other albums I'm going to mention, this is an addictive album in my opinion, and I've listened to this album so many times. It's a very long album, running about an hour and 40 minutes, telling a great story about Judas Iscariot, and it's just an incredible ride. I love the lyrics, and I love Chris Harm's vocals on this. His vocals are so damn good. At times it does sound like something out of Rammstein. The Lord of the Lost got their own sort of sound, but the reason why it's coming at number 3 is because there are 2 other albums better than The Lord of the Lost. Although I've played this album countless times, like this is probably my number 1 played album of the year, I just feel that sometimes I just want to go away from it. The next 2 albums I'm going to mention are going to be the 2 albums that I can't get away from, that I'm quite addicted to at the moment. But yeah, The Lord of the Lost Judas has definitely dropped in its place, but damn, it's a fine fucking album. There are 2 discs on this album, Damnation, and then you got Salvation. And my favorite tracks on Damnation is probably For They Know What They Do, along with Born With a Broken Heart, The 13th, In the Field Above, 2,000 Years of Pyre. It's probably one of the most heaviest fucking song off the album. Our Heart Is a Traitor, Salvation, songs like The Gospel of Judas, Argent, The Heartbeat of the Devil. I love the ballad The Heartbeat of the Devil, so damn good, so damn catchy. The War Within, A World Where We Belong. It's just so good, and I just love the album. Yeah, it's one of my favorite albums of the year at the moment, and the next 2 albums I'm going to mention are definitely going to make it into my album of the year list, that's for sure. So next up is Froglord, The Mystic Toad, and yeah, if you like Frogs, you're going to fucking well love this. This is an incredible album. This is a Death Stoner Doom album, and I love it. I really do. I love the concept, all about cane toads just invading the earth and killing people and beheading people and shit. I am the chosen frog. Oh, I love it. I love the song Ancestors, Alliance, The Green Inferno, First Contact. There's just so many. The riffs are so damn catchy. His vocals are incredibly harsh and aggressive, but he's got some really nice clean vocals as well. Froglord, The Mystic Toad is such a fun fucking album. This was released on July 2nd through the Swamp Records. It's just a fun album, running about 37 minutes, so it's quite a short album as well. It's fun, there are great solos, there are great riffages, and it's just infectious in tone, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, The Mystic Toad by Froglord will no doubt be one of my favorites of the year. We had an epic black metal album, Fire and Halt, last month by The Waters of the Awakening. Well, we got something very similar to Fire and Halt, and no one has talked about this, and I've listened to this album. This was released last week, July 26th, and I haven't stopped playing this album. I've played this album countless times, and every time I listen to this album, I say, wow, what is this? It is Sickle of Dust, Where the Sun Glared Dance. This album's fantastic, it really is. If you like epic, majestic black metal bands similar to Fire and Halt, Cuttle and Brood, Ultima, you're gonna fucking well love this. I am a fan of epic black metal. If I had to do a black metal genre ranking, epic black metal would be definitely up there to be one of my favorite black metal genres, and I absolutely love it. I love the orchestral feels, I love the horns, I love the symphonic elements, and I just love the epic feeling. It's not too heavy as well. But this album is a pretty heavy album, especially in terms of epic black metal. Something very similar to something very similar to how heavy Cuttle and Brood is. Sickle of Dust has such really epic vibes. I love the vocals. The vocals are incredibly harsh, and the guitar tone is so damn metallic as well, which I really love. Production's so damn good. It feels like you was walking into that snowy abyss as you were listening to this album, and it's just absolutely fucking great for winter. It's great for a rainy day, and yeah, the weather hasn't been too great here. It's been snowing. It's been snowing across the state. I'll tell you what, listening to this and reading a book such as The Two Towers I'm reading at the moment, it puts you into perspective of like Lord of the Rings. I wouldn't say this is related to anything out of Middle Earth. It just feels like you're in the Fangorn forest at times, along with the Ents and Treebeard. This is really good. You can put your own perspective of what this album is about, but Sickle of Dust with the Sun Glared Dance is one of my favorite albums of the year already. Is it better than Mare Cognitum? Is it better than Fire and Halt? I'm not too sure. I feel that Mare Cognitum is probably still one of the strongest black metal albums of the year. Sickle of Dust, Where the Sun Glared Dance would be definitely a contender. I absolutely love this album. Yeah, Sickle of Dust, Where the Sun Glared Dance is my number one album of July 2021. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video, and I want to see your favorite albums down below. July was really good in terms of metal. Loved it. Bring on August. August is going to be batshit crazy, man. Batshit crazy. We got incredible records coming out. We got likes of Hooded Menace. Hooded Menace is going to release an album. Then we got Between the Buried and Me, which it's just action-packed this August. And I don't know, man, maybe we'll have to extend it from 10 to 20 for next month. I'm not too sure. But yeah, let me know in the comments below your favorite albums of July, and I will see you in the next one.